Atma Namaste, precious ones. I'm Avril Quadris and welcome to another Sunday success session. Now, if you're new here, I would like to take a minute to introduce myself and what I do on this channel. And welcome, beautiful soul, whether you're new or whether you're returned to my channel. I'm a life architect. And what I do is I combine a few protocols that I have been certified in. I combine NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, ICF style coaching, which is the gold standard of coaching, somatic therapy, energy therapy, anything to do with the body, and the principles of positive psychology. On this channel, I talk about how to calm our minds with meditation techniques and mindfulness techniques. I also talk about chi or prana or kundalini shakti that I teach through my kundalini yoga workshops all across Bangalore and even online, pan-India and across the world. I'm very particular that on my channel, I don't focus on just survival because that's a waste of a life, but on thriving. So if you're ready to rewrite your narrative and architect your own life, then you're in the right place. So without further delay, let's dive in and start building a life that you love, one brick at a time. So what do I have in store for you today? Today I have something that's a very common behavior, and this could actually be holding you back. And what is it called? Over-explaining. Before we go any further, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you never miss an enlightening video. And please share my channel with at least 3 people. That's all I ask. Let's talk about the problem of over-explaining. Have you ever been in a situation where you find yourself going on and on and on and on about a topic, explaining your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions, and nobody even asked you for it? Don't fret, because you're not alone. It's happened to the best of us. Over-explaining is a behavior that many of us adopt in an attempt to either be understood or sometimes to avoid conflict with people, to avoid judgment with people. But you know what the sad thing is? It does more harm than good. It's an absolutely futile attempt and it's time consuming, and nobody's really interested in your long drawn out explanations. So what is the impact, the personal impact of this on you? In our personal lives, over-explaining often surfaces as a constant stream of I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, or what I mean is, what I was trying to say is, or maybe a volley of excuses that happen to be always happening. You know, they appear innocent. They appear like a mere quirk in communication, but the repercussions can be surprisingly significant. Number one, this constant, incessant need to over-explain dilutes your message. Imagine if you're trying to make a point or share your feelings. The core message should be enough. It should be strong enough to stand on its own merit. But when we tack on explanations and justifications, it can cloud that message. It can dilute it, making it harder for the other person or others to grasp what we're trying to say. It's like mixing water with juice. The more you add, the less flavorful and satisfying that juice becomes. The essence is lost. Secondly, over-explaining can have a significant impact on how people perceive your confidence. Think about it. When you offer an overabundance of details that nobody asked for, it may come off as though you're not secure enough and you're not confident enough to let your words or your actions stand alone. Confidence isn't about what we say, it's about the restraint we show in not saying unnecessary things. Over-explaining can make us appear insecure, indecisive, anxious, and it characterizes that what most of us don't want to project, especially in our relationships. This happens a lot. Speaking of relationships, here's another unintended consequence: appearing less trustworthy. While this might seem like counterintuitive, over-explaining can give off the impression to your partner that you have something to hide. It's as though you're trying to cover up all your bases to prevent misunderstanding or speculation. Again, ironically, this excess information can generate more suspicion than trust. When you're going out of your way constantly to explain elaborately for something simple, people might wonder, why is Avril telling me all this? What is she trying to hide? If I take the example of myself. So while the intention behind over-explaining may be innocent from your point of view, it may be honorable, it may be stemming from a desire to be understood, it often achieves the opposite. Because the perception it creates can be misleading, even if it's not exactly true and it's not your intent at all. Okay. What about the professional impact? This is so important because I work with a lot of corporates and startups and businesses, and in the professional landscape, the stakes for over-explaining are significantly higher than they appear at first glance. So this behavior isn't just a conversational faux pas or a mistake. It can have real lasting consequences on your career trajectory. So let's dive into some of these implications because this directly impacts you, right? First and foremost, over-explaining can cast a shadow over your perceived competence. In the workplace, brevity and clarity are synonymous with expertise and control. And when you venture beyond the essential points and delve into unnecessary details, you risk making yourself look less knowledgeable than you actually are. Because you see, your colleagues, your bosses, your team leaders, your clients might start to question your grasp of a topic at hand, even if you're an expert in that area, because you're going on explaining something. In essence, the more you say, the less you may end up communicating effectively because the point gets lost. Secondly, decisiveness is a very highly prized trait in every professional setting almost. The ability to make a choice and stand by that choice is an indicative of leadership potential. Even Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich. So when you over-explain, you're sending the opposite message. You're saying you're unsure, you're hesitant, you don't have confidence. This perception can be damaging, especially in situations that call for quick and clear and decisive decision making. You don't want to be that person who gets bogged down in the minutiae or in the minute details when a straightforward answer is all that's needed. Now let's talk about career progression. Who gets tapped for that promotion? Who gets chosen for that high stakes projects? Typically, it's those people who have demonstrated not just skill and knowledge, but the ability to communicate effectively. And I do communication workshops. And so making confident decisions is important. When you're constantly over-explaining, you're inadvertently putting roadblocks in your own path. You might get even passed over for a promotion, or you may not get entrusted with significant responsibilities. And this could be particularly troubling if you are aspiring to move up the ladder into a leadership role, where clarity and decisiveness are crucial. So, let me sum this up. While over-explaining might seem like a really small, innocuous, innocent habit, its implications in a professional context are far-reaching. It can influence how you're viewed in terms of your decisiveness, your competence, and your suitability for career advancement. So, given what's at stake, it's good for you if you address this habit in a positive way. Okay, enough about problems. Let's focus on solutions. Remember, we thrive here. So if you find yourself over-explaining in personal situation, try these strategies, okay? So, what are some exercises for your personal life? Number one, catch yourself. Before you spiral into an ocean of words, take a moment to pause, breathe, recenter. This simple act can create a mental space for you where you need to evaluate whether a lengthy explanation is necessary or a simple, easy response will suffice. Take that space for yourself. We do this with mindfulness practices. Number two, trust the silence. Silence is a potent tool in any conversation. It allows for reflection. It allows for, recouping. Instead of filling the void with excessive words, let the silence speak for you. It can underline your main point and provide a space for others to absorb it, and meditation helps with this a lot. Third, be mindful. Before speaking, take a moment to ask yourself, what is my intention for this conversation? Am I adding value to this conversation, or is it just some filler conversation? Being mindful allows you to gauge the importance of your contribution via your speech, and it makes your communication more impactful. Number 4 is really difficult for most people to practice assertiveness. You can make your point very clearly and firmly without offering some elaborate backstory. Streamline your communication. This will boost your confidence, your self-confidence. Practice. Number 5 is to start with small steps. Changing a deeply ingrained habit takes time and consistent effort. So remember, the famous saying, Rome was not built in a day. So practice these new skills on a daily basis. Okay, let's talk about exercise and tips for your professional life. After all, a lot is riding on that too. Number 1, be clear, be concise. In a professional setting, time is important to everybody. Time is money. So train yourself to summarize your thoughts in bullet points. Practice them before you enter meetings, before you send emails. This not only makes you appear more organized, but it encourages clearer, more effective communication. Number 2, ask for feedback. Assumption doesn't help anybody. Assuming doesn't help anybody. Instead of assuming that you've been understood, and instead of piling on additional explanations, simply ask the person for feedback. This shows enthusiasm. This proactive approach clears up any ambiguities without making you come off as insecure or unsure. Number 3 is to set boundaries. In your professional life, you are not obligated to justify each and every action. Make your choice, inform the necessary parties, and then proceed. Boundary setting is very important, especially for people who are junior. It not only simplifies your communication, but establishes you as decisive and a competent individual, and you'll earn the respect of your seniors. Number 4 is your values. Remember your values. Your worth in a professional setting doesn't hinge on your ability to explain yourself. Rather, it's about your effectiveness and impact of your actions and decisions. Focus on what really matters to you as a person. You stand a better chance at career advancement because your values determine how you're going to move ahead in life. Okay, now what are you going to take from this? You can't take everything. So choose something to take from this video. Watch it again. Take a pen and write down what can you do now, what can you do later. Here's a comprehensive look at over-explaining and how to overcome it, whether it's a personal thing or it's a professional thing. You need to free yourself from this need to over-explain. It will bring you one step closer to your goals, to fulfilling relationships, and to a more confident and empowered you. Let your actions speak louder than excessive words. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody who could benefit. Don't forget again to please subscribe, and I urge you to drop a comment below, because it helps others and it also lets me know what topics you would like for me to cover. Until next time, live consciously because you're a conscious creator, act decisively, and be the best version of yourself. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. 1 second, don't forget to book that Calendly call with me to diagnose your challenges. That Calendly link is in the description below and it's free. When you and I sit together and we talk over a Zoom call, or if you're in Bangalore, if you come to my office, it's easier for me to diagnose what exactly is your issue, your challenges, what are your goals, and we can provide a roadmap for you. So that's going to be much easier for you because I use so many different protocols, not just one protocol. So you're bound to find some benefit. Okay? And if you like this video, I can't wait for you to check out this video right here. I'm the Life Architect. Stay true to being you. April Quadris signing off. Atma Namaste.